Anyone seen a space bug before? No?
I don't shit about in the outer space yet.
Yeah, do that. You want to try that this weekend?
No.
Okay. What we've got for space bugs though, is we gotta have space bugs that look like they're moving. Right? Because bugs in space, if you see a space bug, anyone ever seen a space bug? They move, right? Okay, so. What do we need first? We need a picture of a space bug, that's called a?
Sprite.
Sprite. That's right click sprite, create a sprite. We'll call it Baddie1 sprite. There's two different types of space bugs that I've got here, Baddie1, Baddie2, so we'll call this one Baddie1 sprite. And we'll load it from a file. Oh, there's a problem here. Do you guys see Baddie1A and Baddie1B?
Yes.
The first two, they're green. One's got the wings out, one's got the wings in. Why do they have two of them? So they move, they animate back and forth. The only problem with GameMaker is GameMaker doesn't really affect it, flap like a bird. So we're going to slow it down to be 1980 style slow. Okay, bear with me. So let's select both of them. So I'm gonna click on this. I'm gonna hold down the Shift key and select both of them. And even though I press open, I only see one of them, but the other one's behind it. Okay, you don't see it, but it is there. Trust me, you'll see it in a few minutes. And is it transparent? Yeah. You see that checkerboard? So let's press OK. And that space bug doesn't do anything until we
Program.
turn it into an object. So let's make an object called Baddie1 object. And we'll choose our sprite, Baddie1 sprite, and it will be animated. Do we have to slow it down?
Yes.
Yes. So what we really should do is add an event. When this is created, you have to slow down the flapping, the animation. And the only way I can figure out how to do this in GameMaker is by adding a line of code. So don't worry about this. I put this in the instructions too. I just go down here to control, I add a line of code, image underscore speed equals 0.05, which is much less than 1, which is the lowest one you can do with Java. So it's 1980 style slow. So there we go. Don't worry about that though. So that will slow down the flapping. What else? Well, bad guys are very important in a game because that's where you put all your code for collisions. What happens if that bad guy collides or hits a good missile? Should it blow up? Should it destroy itself? Yeah, and should it destroy the missile that hit it too?
Yeah.
Let's do it. So, add an event. This will be a collision event. If this Baddie1 object collides with one of our good missiles that we shoot at it, what's it going to do? Well, let's drag that recycle bin over, guys. It's going to destroy itself. And let's drag another recycle bin over and change it to destroy the other thing that hit it, which is the missile. Sure, destroy itself and destroy the other thing. Who wants to try that out? Okay, let's press OK. And let's add some bad guys to our space room first. So maybe 2 rows of them. It's always nice to have 2 rows, right? 1 row is too easy. There we go. And let's play our game. Oh, look at that. See that? And it destroys the missile. And oh, problem though. There's a problem. Who here said it's over? It's not, but there's another bigger problem.
No explosions.
There should be more bad guys, but we'll leave that for later. You can do that at home.
But they shouldn't move down.
They should move.
They should go down.
And it should be sound.
Yeah, they should move too. We can do that as well. Let's play it again. Before we answer that question, do you see the flapping?
Yeah.
Nice and slow animation out and in. The problem is when I shoot them,
No explosion.
there's no explosion. What good is shooting a space bug if there's no explosion? How many people shot space bugs before? Yeah, there's an explosion, right? A big one? Who wants to make an explosion? Okay. So let's make an explosion, guys. We need to first have a picture of an explosion. What's that called?
That's right.
That's right. Click sprites. Create a new sprite. We'll call it explosion sprite. And I'll spell it correctly. There we go. And load it from a file. And look down here. I didn't call it explosion. I called it Baddie die 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because an explosion should start small and get bigger and bigger and bigger from the center, right? Well, if you're going to make something that has to get bigger and bigger from the center, don't select all of the 5 files at once. Do them individually. I'm going to select the first baddie die one file, the first explosion, and then I'm going to edit it, and I'm going to add another one from the file. And then I'll select the second one. When I select the second one, it's going to ask me, do you want to keep it in the middle? Use a new size and keep it in the middle? Yes. You want the explosion to happen from the middle upwards. So, use a new size, keep it in the center. And I'm going to add the other ones too. So let's add from file. Let's add the third one. Yes, keep it in the middle. Add the fourth one. Yes, keep it in the middle. And add that last one. Yes, let's keep it in the middle. Perfect. Okay, so, and if you want to see what's going to happen, is it going to go through all these 5 files really quickly like we saw with the flapping of the bug? If I click show preview, that's what it's going to look like.
No.
See that? Exploding. Only problem is it explodes forever. That's okay, we can tell it to just finish after one explosion. We'll do that next. So now we have a sprite, an explosion sprite that's animated, looks awesome. What do we need to turn that into?
Object.
An object. Let's right click objects. Let's create an explosion object. And we'll choose our explosion sprite. And the first thing we should do is say, don't explode forever. So, add an event. This will be an other event. When it's done one animation. When the animation is ended, right? Animation end. So when it's done one animation, destroy itself. So we only see it explode once and then it destroys itself. Not bad, right? Okay.
But there's no sound.
Well, I'm going to leave sound off this one. I have instructions for sound tonight. But the problem with sound is sometimes you can't hear it very, very well. I mean, you guys probably heard the video very well, but the little pings and stuff in the sound, you can't get the background.
You actually need to download sound.
Yeah, I have the sound in there, yeah. So I have, for the instructions tonight, you can add the sound at home. In this room, it doesn't sound good.
Is the thing going to be on only tonight, or is it?
No, it'll be on forever.
Awesome, because I know.
And if you have a Mac at home, it works on Mac too.
I have
You
a
can get it for Mac.
I have a, no, sorry.
Okay. PC or Mac. How many people have Macs at home? Okay, it works on Mac. Don't worry. In fact, I have Macs and PCs at home. All game developers really do that. Okay, guys, so I'm going to press OK. And what should create this explosion? It should be created when our good missile hits the bad guy. And where was the collision? In the good guy or the bad guy? The bad guy. Always put your collisions in the bad guy because the good guy has all the other code for moving around. And if you even out your code, it makes your game perform faster. Much faster. So usually collisions are always in the bad guy. So let's go to the bad guy, the baddie one object. And there's our collision. If it collides with a good missile object, it destroys itself, it destroys the other thing, the missile, and it should create, drag the light bulb over, it should create an explosion relative to where we are. Let's try it out now. Oh yeah, that's much better. You don't like explosions? All right. Okay, what score did I get? Oh, wait a second. There's no score. I think the last thing we should do is add a score. What do you guys think? Yeah? Let's add a score. And then the rest, you guys can do it. How hard is it to make games so far? Anyone think it's hard? Who thinks it's easy?
Sort of.
Sort of. Yeah, it's not too bad. And can you make up your own rules and vary from what we did? Oh yeah, that's where it gets
I
really
can roll my
fun.
boxes and shit. Is that like something?
Yeah, you can do that. In fact, one kid even from the first session brought in a graphic. He did a graphic and emailed it to me of Dr. Phil. So Ellen DeGeneres was shooting Dr. Phil. Yeah, very creative kid. So let's go over here and let's add a score. Now, some objects in the game do not have a graphic. They don't have a sprite. Okay, they just don't. So the funny thing is, we can make an object that doesn't have a graphic. We'll call it our score object. So without making a sprite first, we're just going to make an object. And we're going to call it score object. And there's going to be no sprite. But what it will do is once it's created, so let's add that to create. Since it's created, we have to set the score to 0. Okay, we have to start somewhere, right? So down here under score, there's a little set score to 0. Good. And we have to manually draw it to the screen. So add an event, draw it to the screen, because it doesn't have a sprite. It's got to be changed all the time, so it has to be constantly drawn to the screen every time it changes. So draw it to the screen, draw the score to the screen, and it draws it in the upper left-hand corner, which is kind of hard to see. So I like to move it over a little bit, move it down a little bit so it's a little nicer to see. So let's move it over 32 pixels to the right and 32 pixels down, and it will say, how about your score is, colon, and then right after that will be your score. Not bad, right? Okay. There's a problem in GameMaker though. What color is our space background?
Black.
And you know what color they rate your score in?
Black.
So it doesn't show up.
Do you have to color it?
Yeah, so you want to change the color to white? Yeah, to do that, you have to add a line code. just for Galaga, right? So I'm going to add a line code. Draw underscore set underscore color. Don't worry, this is in the instructions. Color white. There we go. And there we go. Now, we've got a score object that when it's created, it starts at 0 and it draws to the screen there all the time in white. What should update the score? Killing a space bug. Where is that collision? In our good guy or bad guy? Always the bad guy. Let's go to the bad guy. Here's our collision with the good missile. It's going to destroy itself, going to destroy the other thing, the good missile. It's going to create an explosion, and it should also update our score and add, say, 100 points.
Yeah.
Sure. Relative to where we are. So if we had 0 before, we now have 100. If we had 100 before, we have 200. And now we just have to add that invisible score object to our room. And whenever you add a score object to your room, or any object that doesn't have a sprite, it puts a little round blue circle with a red question mark in it. It's hard to see. I just put it in the upper left-hand corner. You won't show up when you play the game because it doesn't have a sprite. You gotta put it on the room somewhere. Doesn't matter where. Okay. Let's play the game now, guys. Oh, my score is? Not anymore. I shot 2 bugs. Now it's 200. And I'm going to keep on going until I get the maximum score. 2400. Look at that. Not bad, huh? So we just did the basics in a very short period of time of making the game. And you can make different levels. You just make another room. And you can explore all the different features that you can do for every object by looking at the right-hand side. All the stuff here on all the tabs, there's tabs you can't see on there. I'm going to move over. There's lots of different things you can do, including going to the next room if you want to. That means go to the next room. So you could have your first room is level 1, your second room is level 2, and as soon as you clear all the bugs, you go to the next room, which is harder bugs. All sorts of cool stuff. There's no limit to what you can do. And it's not hard. So it's really
how do you create something like a leaderboard or?
Oh, you can easily create a leaderboard there. There's actually an icon for it down here. These are extra. Yeah, somewhere down here there's actually, oh yeah, there we go. So health and score and lives and control, you can actually make a variable that says, hey, keep track of what your score is, then send it to somewhere, or send it to this screen, save it in a file, all sorts of neat things. Make it variable. There's no limit to what you can do. The only limitation is what GameMaker allows you to do.
Within that code to make the color of the score, can you put any color?
Yeah, you put it red. You should put C underscore red, right? Color underscore red.
It needs to be 1,000 steps.
What's that, sorry?
It needs to be 1,000 steps.
Easy 1,000 steps.
Yeah.
Now, here's the cool thing, guys. If you have lots of great ideas and you want to play with this, you could actually spend an entire weekend making games in GameMaker and make some really cool stuff that you could show off. If we did all this in just a few minutes, imagine what you could do on your own. So the cool thing that I want to end with today, I'm not going to say my changes. Cool, that's okay, I've got one saved.
How do you add more of them? You know how there's always levels of the baddies coming at you, right?
Yeah, so if you want to add like more, like I've got one right here that I just went a little bit further. Hold on. This one right here. Yeah. There you go. So I've got the two baddies, baddie 1 and baddie 2 here. And I just went a little bit further. I just added some more objects, more sprites. And I can shoot them. I can go to different levels, you know. They're both animated. You can change sprites. Would you guys like to change a sprite? Who'd like to change a sprite? One of the coolest things you can do in a game, and I'll show you this. This will be where we end today. Let's take a sprite over here. I've got a sprite sheet. I'm sure that we can use. There we go. No, I don't have a sprite sheet. But if you go, and I don't have internet access, of course, you guys. But if you go to the internet, you could actually download like a Mario sprite. Add a new sprite into Game Maker, and then for your ship object, change it from ship sprite to Mario sprite. Then Mario will be shooting up. Yeah, that's right. Yes, all sorts of neat stuff. So unfortunately, I don't have one because there's no internet access. So it's popped up. I can't download one for you, but those are some active things you can do that you can easily ask people that stuff. Now, for the parents in the room who want to do this at home and get the link, here is the last slide. It's a repeat. Remember I told you I put the instructions up twice? Tonight at 9 o'clock, just go to twitter.com and search on twitter.com for Pound Game on Science, and you will see Galaga presentation. And all the step-by-step stuff, plus more, including sounds and other stuff, you can try at home. And if you spend your entire weekend making games and having fun, I'll be nice and happy. Because we need more game people.
We get
More game developers in the future.